Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you enjoy mysterious crimes, unsolved cases, and stories filled with unanswered questions, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and turn on notifications. Now, let's uncover today's mystery. Who was with Talay Rile during his final hours? Why was he found in the garden of a residential property before sunrise? Who attacked him? And what happened in the moments leading up to his death? Those questions turned an already tragic case into a mystery that captured public attention. In the early hours of June 5, 2026, police and emergency crews rushed to Rile Road in Silvertown, East London. When they arrived, they discovered songwriter Talay Rile suffering from serious stab wounds inside the garden of a residential property. Nearby, another man in his 20s had also been injured in the same incident, but survived. Despite emergency treatment, Rile could not be saved. Within hours, news of his death spread across social media and news outlets. Fans were shocked, friends paid tribute, but the biggest question remained unanswered. How did a respected songwriter end up fatally wounded before dawn? To understand the mystery, investigators first had to understand the man behind the headlines. Unlike many celebrities, Talay Rile spent much of his career away from cameras. His name was not always on the front page, but his work reached millions of listeners. Through songwriting and music production, he became respected within the industry and built a reputation for creativity and professionalism. Friends described him as passionate about music and dedicated to his craft. For years, his focus appeared to be on building a successful career rather than seeking public attention. That is why news of his death surprised so many people. As investigators examined his final known movements, they searched for answers to several important questions. Where had he been before the incident? Who had he met that evening? And could those answers explain why he was at the location where he was later found? At this stage, investigators knew where the tragedy occurred and how Rile died, but they still did not know why it happened. The location quickly became the center of the investigation. Police confirmed that Rile was found in the garden area of a residential property on Rile Road. Investigators carefully examined the scene, searching for evidence that could reveal what had happened during the violent encounters. One fact immediately stood out. Rile was not the only victim. Another injured man was discovered at the scene and survived. That detail raised even more questions. Were both men attacked by the same person? Did they know each other? And what events led them to that locations? As forensic teams gathered evidence, officers also interviewed witnesses and reviewed available information from the area. Meanwhile, reports emerged that several people had been detained as part of the investigation. But despite these developments, authorities had not publicly identified a confirmed killer or a motive. The mystery remained open, and public curiosity continued to grow. As news of the killing spread, public attention intensified. Fans wanted answers. Journalists searched for new information, and investigators continued piecing together the timeline of events. Authorities focused on understanding what happened before emergency crews arrived. They examined witness statements, reviewed available evidence, and attempted to determine who had been present during the final hours before the attack. At the same time, reports emerged that several individuals had been questioned as part of the investigation. This created intense speculation online. Some people believed the case would be solved quickly, while others suspected there were still important details missing from the public record. However, investigators remained cautious. At that point, there was still no officially announced motive and no public explanation that answered every question. While certain facts had been confirmed, the most important pieces of the puzzle remained hidden. The deeper investigators looked, the more complicated the story appeared to become. By now, investigators had established several key facts. Talay Rile had been found with fatal stab wounds in the garden of a residential property in Silvertown. Another injured man had survived. Police had launched a major investigation and interviewed multiple people connected to the case. But many questions remained unanswered. Who was responsible for the attack? Why did the violence occur? Was Rile specifically targeted, or was there another explanation? Those questions transformed the case from a tragic crime into a mystery that attracted attention far beyond the music industry. For Rile's family, friends, and supporters, the lack of clear answers was deeply frustrating. Every update seemed to provide a small piece of information while leaving the larger picture incomplete. Investigators continued their work, hoping that evidence, witness testimony, or new information would eventually reveal the truth. Until then, the mystery remained unsolved. Today, the case continues to attract attention because its most important questions remain unanswered. Investigators know where the crime occurred. They know when it happened. They know that Talay Rile lost his life in a violent attack before sunrise in East London. But knowing what happened is not the same as knowing why it happened. That unanswered why is what continues to drive public interest in the case. Perhaps future evidence will provide clarity. Perhaps new witnesses will come forward. Or perhaps details currently known only to investigators will eventually change how the entire story is understood. For now, Talay Rile is remembered for the music he helped create and for the mystery surrounding his final hours. Investigating continues to questions remain, and somewhere within the evidence, the complete truth may still be waiting to be discovered. What do you think happened that night? Leave your theory in the comments below.